Hello children, we are starting a new chapter, that is chapter number 11, the p block elements. This we know the p block means group number 13 to group number 18 in the periodic table, and this video includes group number, physical and chemical properties of group numbers 13 and 14. Group number 13 and 14. The elements in which the last electron is entering to p orbital of the outermost shell is known as p block elements. We know when we write down the subshell electronic configuration, the last electron is entering to p orbital. Such elements are known as p block elements. In the p block we know group number 13 to 18. These are the members of p block elements. Since p orbital can accommodate a maximum of 6 electrons, 6 groups are belonging to this block. Okay, p block contains 6 groups, that means group number 13 to group number 18. Okay, then we can say that which are the groups are present in the group p block element are the first one, group 13. Name of that group is boron family, since the first member is boron. Next one is 14, that is carbon family, because the first member is carbon. Similarly, 15 is known as nitrogen family. 16 is known as oxygen family, because the oxygen is the first member, and also it is known as chalcogens, a new name for us. It is also known as chalcogens. Similarly, group number 17 is generally known as fluorine family, or it is also known as halogens. And last group, that is group number 18, is known as noble gases or inert gases. Why we are calling that group number 18 members are group noble gases or inert gas? What's the reason for that? That is that group number 18 members are generally non-reactive because they are having completely filled orbitals. Okay, so that is what we are calling it as. Generally, since they are not taking part in chemical reaction, they are said to be inert gases. And the next point is that most of the members of the p block elements are non-metals. However, it also contains metals and metalloids. So majority members are what? Non-metals. Okay, the next point, the general outer electronic configuration is ns2np126. That is for group number 13, only one p electron will be in the p block, p orbital. Similarly, for the 18 element, it will be ns2np6 itself. Okay, and there's exemption for helium, in which the last electron is entering into the s orbit. That we have learned that a special position for hydrogen and helium, because of different chemical properties, we are arranging group number 1 and group number 18 respectively. Okay, and the last electron is entering to the s orbital but placed with noble gases because of similarities in properties. And elements of p block elements generally exhibit two types of oxidation state. First one is known as group oxidation state, and it is it is equal to total number of valence electrons in the sense ns electrons plus np electron. The maximum oxidation state for carbon is 4, because the number of carbon is equal to 6, and the electronic configuration will be 1s2 2s2 2p2. So the last electrons in the s and p orbital means there will be 2 electrons each. So that group oxidation state or maximum oxidation state exhibited by that elements of carbon or p block element is 4. Similarly, heavier members of each group also exhibit an oxidation state which is 2 units less than the group oxidation state. Okay, this oxidation state is more stable than group oxidation state. The reason for the existence of this oxidation state is the reluctance of ns electrons to take part in bonding, and this effect is known as inert pair effect. So due to this inert pair effect, it shows one more type of oxidation state which is 2 units less than the group oxidation state. Group oxidation state in the case of p block elements, just like carbon, it will be 4, and the reason is for why these elements show different types of valence is that due to inert pair effect. What is inert pair effect? The reluctance of ns electrons to take part in chemical bonding is known as inert pair effect. Due to this effect, energy required to unpair the electron is more than the energy released in the formation of two additional bonds in heavier members. Once again, due to this effect, the energy required to unpair the electrons is more than the energy released in the formation of two additional bonds in the heavier members. So we can say that elements of p block elements exhibit two types of oxidation state. One is known as group oxidation state, and 2 units less than the group oxidation state, it will be showing one more type of oxidation state, and it is due to inert pair effect. Okay. The oxides of nonmetals are generally acidic in nature, and that of metals are basic in nature. The acidic character decreases and the basic character increases on moving down the group, that we know, isn't it? Left side of the periodic table there are metals, right side it will be nonmetals. So we can say the acidic character decreases. Acidic character of the oxides generally we mean. So the oxides of nonmetals are acidic and that of metals are basic in nature. And the nonmetal possess higher ionization enthalpy and higher electronegativities and have high tendency to form anions than metals. We know nonmetals, especially if we are taking any one of the group, for example fluorine, group number 17 fluorine, atomic number is 9, electron configuration is 2,7, so they are ready to accept one electron to complete the octet so that it will become an anion. Okay, when a highly reactive nonmetal combines with a highly reactive metal, an ionic compound is formed due to large difference in electronegativity. Because of the difference in electronegativity, when a reactive metal and a reactive non-metal react completely, it will be forming an ionic compound. When highly reactive non-metal combines with a highly reactive non-metal, that means bond between two non-metals, it forms a covalent compound because of its small difference in electronegativity. So these are the important p block elements. Then the first member of each group differs from the rest of the members of the same group due to small size and unavailability of d orbitals. This is known as anomalous behavior. That means if we know that size of the each atom increases as we move top to bottom in a group. So the smallest one will be the first member, and due to the smaller size and unavailability of D, or it shows different properties than the rest of the members, and that is known as anomalous behavior. What are the different anomalous behavior is that maximum covalency. Because of the absence of d orbital, the first member of each group cannot expand its covalency beyond 4, that is 1s and 3 2p orbitals, but rest of the members can expand their covalency above 4. That means first anomalous behavior is maximum covalency. The covalency of the first member will be 4, but the rest of the members will be more than 4. The second anomalous property is that formation of pi multiple multiple bonds. Because of their small size and high electronegativity, the first member of each group can form p pi multiple bonds with itself. In case of heavier members, since the orbitals are available, they form p pi d pi or d pi bonds. Pi bond is formed by the, we have studied the hybridization concept of hybridization. It is formed by the sidewise overlap of unhybridized p orbital. So we can say that there will be different types of multiple bonds like p pi d pi and d pi multiple bonds, but first member of the group of p block elements will show only p pi. Rest of the members can form either p pi d pi or d pi multiple bonds. So these are the general characteristics of p block members. Now we are learning about the first two groups of p blocks in this chapter. Group number 13 elements. Group number 13 elements. First member is boron, so we are calling it as boron family. The members of group 13 are boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, and yttrium. UUT, according to IUP's name, we can give that name of the compound like yttrium. Okay, except boron, all other members are metals. The non-metallic character of boron is due to small size, high ionization enthalpy, and high electronegativity. That is the first anomalous behavior. Except boron, all other members are metals. Okay, non-metallic character of boron is due to the small size, high ionization enthalpy, and high electronegativity. The melting point of boron is unusually high because it's very crystalline lattice. Gallium, because of its low melting point, remain in liquid state during summer. Nihonium, that is last element, is synthetically prepared and it is a radioactive element. The outer electronic configuration is ns2 np1 because the first member will be having np1, second member will be having np2, like that, and the last group number 18, will be having ns2 np6. Atomic radius of gallium is less than that of aluminum because of the presence of additional 10 d electrons which offer poor shielding effect in gallium. So these are the general properties, general points that you have to mention in that case of uh, first boron family. Next one is occurrence of each occurrence of each member. Boron is a rare element and it constitutes 0.0001% by mass of the earth crust. Boron exists in two isotopic forms, B10 and B11, and the chief minerals of this boron are borax, kernite, columendite, and orthoboric acid. That is about first member. And second member, aluminium, the second member of the group, is the most abundant metal and the third most abundant element in the earth crust after oxygen and silicon. Their important minerals are bauxite and cryolite. Then one more is there, that is mica. Then gallium, indium, thallium are less abundant elements, as is obvious from the table. Okay, the abundance values are given in that textbook that you have to follow. Okay, just see that that members are the important minerals of each member of the group number 13, that you can read it from the textbook. That is enough. Boron family. First one is oxidation state. Due to small size of boron, the sum of first three ionization enthalpy is very high. This prevents it to form plus 3 ions and forces to form covalent compounds. Plus 3 oxidation state is strongly oxidizing in nature. The rest of the members show plus 1 and plus 3 oxidation states. The compounds in plus 1 states are mostly ionic. The plus 1 state becomes more stable as we move down the group because of the presence of intervening d and f orbitals which do not shield the nucleus effectively. Hence, the effective nuclear charge increases and they do not participate in bonding. So this is the first chemical property, the oxidation state. That a plus 1 oxidation state because of the poor shielding effect of d and f orbitals. Okay. Next one is reactivity towards air. That boron is unreactive in crystalline form, but in amorphous form, boron reacts with air to form the oxides of boron, that is B2O3. Aluminium forms a passive thin oxide layer which protects the metal from the further attack. With dinitrogen, they form nitrides. The reaction is given. E stands for the element of the P block. It reacts with oxygen to form the oxides in the form E2O3. Similarly, with nitrogen, they form nitrides. Then boron trioxide is acidic, aluminium and gallium oxides are amphoteric, and indium and thallium oxides are basic in nature. Okay, this is about reactivity towards air. Next one is reactivity towards halogen. These elements react with the halogen to form trihalides, except for thallium iodide. 2E plus 3x2 gives 2EX3, where E is the metal, and X is the halogen, chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine, like that. Okay, next point is that anomalous behavior of boron. We have learned because of the small size, high electron density, high electronegativity, and non-availability of d orbitals and d electrons, B exhibits the following anomalous properties. There are 4 important properties, anomalous properties for boron. First property we have mentioned already, boron is a non-metal, but other members are metals. Its melting and boiling points are quite high. It forms only covalent compounds, but other members form both covalent ionic compounds. The maximum covalency of boron is 4, and while that of aluminium is 6. Only boron exhibits allotropy and exist in crystalline and amorphous forms. These are the important anomalous behavior of boron. Next one is use of boron and aluminum compounds. We know boron is a hard refractory solid which possesses high melting point, low density and very low electrical conductivity. Because of these properties, it finds many applications like boron fibers are used for making bulletproof vests and light composite material for aircrafts. The boron-10 isotope has high ability to absorb neutrons, and therefore metal borides are used in nuclear industry as protective shields and control rods, and it is used for making heat-resistant glass like Pyrex, glass wool and fiberglasses. So these are the important uses of boron and their other members of that aluminium. Once again, boron fibers are used for bulletproof materials. The boron-10 isotope has high ability to absorb neutrons and therefore used in nuclear industry to as a protective shield and for making fiberglasses. So this is about group number 13 members. Now we have two questions. White fumes are appear around the bottle of anhydrous aluminum chloride. Why? Anhydrous aluminum chloride is partially hydrolyzed with atmospheric moisture. Hydrolysis means reaction with water, moisture to liberate HCl gas. Moist HCl appears white in color. Okay, second question is that boron is unable to form BF6 minus ion. Explain. Because due to non-availability of d orbital, maximum covalency of boron is 4, isn't it? Next is group 14. Group 14, the member family is known as carbon family. The members are carbon, silicon, germanium, Sn and Pb, lead and tin. Okay, occurrence. Silicon is the second and carbon is 17th most abundant element by mass in the earth crust. Carbon can exist in free as well as combined state. In elemental state, it exists in the form of coal, diamond, graphite and fullerene, and in combined form, it exists in the form of carbonates, hydrogen carbonates, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. The compounds of carbon with other elements like oxygen, chlorine, hydrogen, sulfur, etc. provide an astonishing array of materials ranging from living tissues to drugs and plastics. The compound of carbon with hydrogen are also many that to study them separate branch known as organic chemistry. Okay, so carbon is a versatile element in the world and essential constituent of all living things. Carbon has three isotopes, carbon 12, carbon 13 and carbon 14. Carbon 14 being radioactive exists only in trace amounts and is used for radiocarbon dating. Silicon generally exists in the form of silica and silicates. Okay, its main constituents are ceramics, glass and cement. Germanium and lead are present in trace quantities. And the general outer electronic configuration is Ns2, Np2 because the second group of p block element. The covalent radius increases from carbon to silicon. Thereafter, from silicon to lead, small increase is observed because of the completely filled d and f orbitals in higher members. Okay, the first ionization enthalpy of group 14 element is higher than that of group 13. Ionization enthalpy is decreases down the group. Due to small size, group 14 members are slightly more acidic than group 13 members. All members are solids. Melting and boiling points are much more higher than that of group 13 members. The metallic or electropositive character increases down the group due to less effective nuclear charge and increased number of available orbitals, which increases the size of the atom. So these are the general points that you have to consider when we are studying about group 14 members. Members, occurrence, electronic configuration, size, ionization enthalpy, melting and boiling points, and metallic or electropositive character. Mainly these are the points. These are the physical properties. Now chemical properties. The first chemical property that we are discussing is oxidation state. The common oxidation state is +4 and +2. Carbon exhibits negative oxidation state also because of the configuration. Atomic number is equal to 6, so the configuration will be 2,4. Either it can accept 4 electron or it can donate 4 electron. The stability of +2 oxidative state increases down the group due to the inert pair effect. The compounds of germanium 2 plus are unstable, so it gets oxidized into germanium plus 4 easily and act as a good reducing agent. In tetravalent compound, the compounds of group 14 act as a electron precise molecule or loses electrons. The second property is the reactivity towards oxygen. When heated in oxygen, it forms monoxides and dioxides. Oxides in higher oxidation states are generally acidic than that of lower oxidation state. The dioxides of Sn and Ge are amphoteric and that of Pb is basic in nature. The acidic character decreases and basic character increases down the group. Next one, reactivity towards water. Carbon, silicon and germanium do not react with water, but Sn react with steam and forms SnO2 and dihydrogen. Lead also remains unaffected due to the formation of a protective film of lead oxide over the surface. Next chemical property is reactivity towards halogen. Most of the tetrahalides are covalent in nature and sp3 hybridized state. The thermal stability of halides different elements with a common halogen it decreases with the increase in number. The tetraiodide of lead is unknown. This is because the energy released during the formation of lead to iodine bond is not enough to unpair the 6s2 electrons and excite one of them to higher orbital to have 4 unpaired electrons around lead. So you can expect such a question one that tetraiodide of lead is unknown. Then I being strong reductant reduces Pb plus 4 into Pb2 plus. I minus being strong reductant. Reductant means reducing agent. It reduces Pb plus 4 into Pb plus 2. The tetrahalides of carbon are not hydrolyzed by water due to the absence of d orbitals. So these are the important properties of next is anomalous behavior of carbon. Just like boron, carbon is the first member of the same group, number 14. So because of the smaller size, high electron density and high electronegativity and non-availability of d or electrons, carbon also exhibits some anomalous properties. The first property is that the maximum covalency of carbon is 4 because of absence of d orbital. We have seen the same thing in the case of boron also. Next one is formation of p-pi multiple bonds. Because of their smaller size and high electronegativity, carbon can form p-pi multiple bonds with itself. In the case of heavier members, since d orbitals are available, they form p-pi d-pi or d-pi bond. Same explanation what we have done in the case of boron. We know that a pi bond is formed as a result of sidewise overlap of unhybridized p orbital. Sometimes it will be d orbital also. So if it is p orbital, we can call it as p-pi or d-pi multiple bonds. Okay. The third point, that's anomalous property of carbon is that carbon atoms have a tendency to link with one another through covalent bonds to form chains and rings, and this property is known as catenation. So these are the three. Among this group 14, carbon is having the tendency maximum property of catenation. Next topic is allotropes of carbon. Carbon exists in several crystalline and amorphous allotropic forms. That is, diamond, graphite and fullerene are in its crystalline form, whereas coke, coal, etc. are in its amorphous allotropic forms. We have studied in standard 10 the same thing itself. That means carbon exists in different physical forms, like that is known as allotropy, or allotropes of carbon are mainly diamond, graphite, fullerene and coke, coal. All these are amorphous allotropic forms. The first one is diamond. It is the purest form of carbon and hardest substance known, and it has very high refractive index and high density also. It is transparent to X-rays. It is a three-dimensional giant molecule of carbon in which carbon atoms are arranged tetrahedrally by utilizing their sp3 hybridized orbitals. So carbon is in this diamond form. It is in sp3 hybridized state. and each carbon atom seems to lie at the center of the regular tetrahedron and is linked to 4 surrounding carbon atoms lying at the corners of tetrahedron through a strong covalent bonds. Due to high strength of covalent bonds holding numerous carbon atoms together, diamond is very hard and have high density. Since breaking of diamond requires breaking of strong covalent bonds, the melting point of carbon is unusually high. Okay, it is a bad conductor of electricity but a very good conductor of heat. Lattice vibrations are responsible for the high thermal conductivity of diamond. Hence, diamond is used as a gemstone on account of reflection and refraction of light. Impure diamonds are used in knives for cutting glass and rock burrs. It is also used as an abrasive for sharpening hard tools, in making dyes, and in the manufacture of tungsten filaments for electric light bulbs. So for the exam they will be asking why the covalent bonding is strong in that case of and high melting point of the diamond. Okay, so that is you have to study properly. Next allotrope of carbon is graphite. Unlike diamond, graphite has two-dimensional layered structures. In this case, only 3 of the 4 valence electrons of carbon participate in chemical bonding. The hybridization of carbon in this structure is sp2, having 3 covalent bonds with 3 other carbon atoms in the same plane. The fourth electron of carbon does not participate in the bonding and remains free, and it is responsible for the electrical conductivity of the substance. The structure of graphite is two-dimensional, sheet-like, consisting a number of hexagonal rings are fused together. The sheets or layers are held together by relatively weak van der Waals forces. Okay, this structure is less compact than that of the diamond, and since the bonding between the layers involve only weak van der Waals forces, these layers can slide over each other. This gives softness and greasiness and lubricating character to the graphite. Because of these properties, graphite is used for lining and marking electrodes of electric furnaces and making refractory crucibles. In making lead pencils, it is used as a moderator in nuclear reactor and as a lubricant in machinery where oil cannot be used as a lubricant. So these are about what graphite. And the next third allotrope of carbon is fullerenes. These are prepared by heating graphite in an electrical arc in the presence of an inert gas like helium or argon. The vapors on condensation gives a sooty material that mainly contains 60 carbon atoms with a smaller quantity of 670, and traces of fullerene have even number of carbon atoms up to 350 or above. And fullerenes are the only purest form of carbon, as their structure and smooth without any dangling bonds. Fullerenes are also known as Buckminster fullerenes are also due to their resemblance in structure with geodesic domes designed and built by the American architect. Fullerenes are large cage-like spherical molecules with general formula C2N. Fullerenes are looks like a soccer ball and also known as buckyball, and contains 20 six-membered and 12 five-membered rings of carbon atoms. Six-membered rings are fused with both six-membered as well as five-membered ring, while five-membered rings are attached only with the six-membered rings. Each carbon atom in the structure forms 3 sigma bonds with other 3 carbon atoms, and the fourth electron remains free. The free electrons delocalize and provide some aromatic character to the molecule. Okay, and it consists of 12 15 membered and 25 6-membered rings. This for these fullerenes act as a wonderful lubricants, and the alkali compounds of carbon-60 are used as superconducting substance at the temperature 10 to 40 Kelvin. Next topic is uses of carbon. Lightweight composites of the high strength are obtained by embedding graphite fibers in plastic materials. The composites are used in products such as tennis rackets, fishing rods, aircrafts, and cannons. Activated charcoal, because of its highly porous nature, is used to adsorb poisonous gases. It removes organic contaminators from the filters and control the odor in air conditioner system. Carbon black is used as a black pigment in black ink and filler in automobile tires. Coke is a good fuel and is a good reductant, so widely used in metallurgical processes. So in this chapter, P block elements mainly Mainly we have learned about only group number 13 and 14. So in the beginning we have studied the general characteristics of p block elements. Then we have learned that physical and chemical properties of both group number 13 and group number 14 members. It gives a rough idea about the molecule and the elements also. So you will have to read the textbook thoroughly for that further clarification, and the questions will be given to you later.